You've found AHO Radio. We're authentic human outliers coming together to help heal the fear of being authentic, to bring back genuine human conversation. No hype, no sensationalism, just honest talk about the critical issues affecting society, affecting humankind. And now, here are the hosts of AHO Radio, John Korotek and Bill Protzmann. And a very good day to everyone, wherever you are, happen to be listening around the world, listening and watching. It's Bill Protzmann here. John Korotek, my valiant co-host, is moving into his new place in the country, and there's no internet yet, but there will be by the end of the week, and we're looking forward to getting John back into the circle. Our guest today, Santiago Orozco. I met Santiago when he was playing with one of his original bands called Todo Mundo here in Little Italy in San Diego at the Mercado, at the street market, the farmer's market that happens every week. And I was amazed. My wife and I were listening, and this band was doing things with world music that we hadn't heard before. There was one place, man, you had a trumpeter in and a rapper in, and you were doing this thing, and it was like, this is incredible music. Of course, everything's gone 10 years down the road. The band is now called WITHN. And Santiago, I'm so grateful for you to be here today and to talk to us about your journey, because this is amazing. Welcome aboard. Welcome to AHO, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Bill. What a pleasure.
And what a journey. I mean, I can't wait to get into it.
Yeah.
So I got Santiago's email, right? And I got this email, and it was the launch of a new song that's called Siempre. We're going to get into that. But it just got into my heart so fast that I had to stop everything and sort of watch this video. You know how sometimes you get a video and you go, oh, I'll watch that later. But this one, I had to go right into it. There was such heart in there. There's something that you were saying. And of course, I don't speak Spanish, and I'm watching the video. I'm listening to the words that are in Spanish. And I'm just something inside me said, there's more going on here. I've got to ask, and I've got to find out. And so here we are now talking about it. I don't want to give it away, but like, how were you triggered to make this amazing music? Like, what moment happened in whatever 2020? This is like a COVID song, right? So what moment made you do this?
Yeah.
Let's start there.
Yeah. So I remember it's a Friday night, and this is on the midst of the whole COVID situation, the whole pandemic, and actually something that I'm very grateful for is like that period of time put me in a very delicate place, in a very, like I was asking a lot of things. There was a lot of changes that we had, and they completely were gone, or were changing. So anyway, and I remember I was in those feelings, and a Friday night, I remember I was just like very emotional that day, and when I say emotional, I mean it's like I was feeling a lot. I was just feeling all type of feelings, all type of emotions. I was like, okay, and I started to play with an harmonium that we have here in the house, and it was very very interesting how the lyrics, not like the phrasing of the song, start to just come out of my mouth and with the harmonium, and then and I was like, wow, I felt something. I felt like this is something I should like. I should like. Usually I play with the idea, and then I start to, the next day I write lyrics. But then as soon as the melody came, and I start to like mumble with my, like mumble the lyrics.
Yeah.
I went to a fireplace. We have a fireplace here, and grabbed my guitar, instead of playing the harmonium, I start to play exactly what I was playing in the harmonium on the guitar.
Mm.
And the lyrics, man, everything starts just to come out. Like everything starts to come out. Everything starts to just like I start to think on, of how important is this moment, or how important is our family, like our friends, our like the song itself to me took me to this like journey of going back to my childhood, going back to my neighborhood, going back to remembering the people that we have in this moment in life, remembering the people that is no longer with us.
Yeah.
So it just started to talk me to all these places, and I stayed up all night writing the song. I couldn't stop. I was like channeling some type of like feeling idea, and all night I recorded like the demo on the home studio that I had at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. When I finished to record the demo right away that night, I was like, the first thought that I came to my head is like, I've been waiting all my life to write a song like this. And I was telling them myself, I've been waiting all my life to record a song like this. The song is, I mean, in the musically it's so simple, but the melody, the lyrics, it's like that's something that I always like wanted to write, but you cannot force these things. You have to feel like
Yeah.
in some kind of way. And then and the next day I told to my girlfriend, like I told her like I was waiting all my life to write a song like this. And that's kind of like the core of how the song came out.
Yeah. I get that. I'm not, a songwriter, but I know there've been moments in my life where inspiration just
Mhm.
hits. It's like a wave, like it just crashes. And all I can do is like stop everything else and just stay with that in that moment, until
Yeah.
whatever it is done.
Yes.
It's like it's out somewhere, it's on paper, it's somewhere, you know. And
Yeah.
so I relate to that. And when I started to hear the music, I watched the video actually. When I began to watch, I immediately got that feeling, which is
Mhm.
weird because I hadn't read anything about it. Santiago, I hadn't read the introductory, the copy that says this is how it all happened, right? I just heard it. And I knew there was something special that had happened, right?
Wow.
So
Yeah.
what happened to you that night somehow communicated through, I don't know how many hundreds of times you've played the song now before, like in the studio where you did 37 takes to get it right. So probably a lot of playing that song, and it's just, oh my gosh, it speaks.
That's exactly what I thought the song was going to do. Like I'm very fortunate and very blessed, and the response of people for the song, it has been like beautiful. It's like all what I can say is like beautiful. Like for me, it's like I've done songs that are like well produced. I mean, super produced, a lot of instruments, band, solo. But for some reason, this song has touched so many people, like the fiber of the heart. I don't know what it is, but many people like, dude, I don't know what you're saying. But people that the people that speak Spanish, they completely are like, wow, like
Yeah,
they get the feeling of the song. And the people that doesn't speak Spanish, they still feel it.
it
And
still
that's
gets me. Yeah, it gets me.
of course, you don't have to understand the language. Like I grew up listening music in English all my life, and I always got me no matter what. But but that was kind of like as I was writing the song, I was like feeling like this is touching in so many ways,
Yeah.
and it's hard to explain how, why, but it's just, I guess that is, yeah, it is what it is, and I'm very blessed, like I was in that space, and that God put me in a place where I could put the lyrics, or to be, be
Right.
there,
Make it
just
work.
be there and make it work, and make people feel, and make people feel what they're feeling, and take them to the place that they're going with that song, which is, which is very, yeah, is basically very similar to what you felt.
Which is, and the word siempre, the way I understand the translation is always, right?
Correct. Yeah,
Always.
yeah,
And that sense of just being always is, I mean, I get shivers in my spine when I say it right now. Could we play the song for everyone, or play the video?
yeah,
Actually, I want to see the
yeah,
video.
yeah.
Okay, let's do that, and then we'll come back, and I want to talk to you about it, because there's so much in this, and people, I don't know what to say. So here's WITHN and the latest release, Siempre.
Entre mi barrio y las fronteras el camino es vida y lleva. Entre tus ojos carretera, el camino es vida y sueña. Entre la noche y esos signos ya del tiempo y esos vicios. Entre caminos ya del cielo, el corazón fuma delirio. No es un sueño en la tierra, oye princesa, entre mis penas eres el tiempo en cadena, se repite y no me quema. No te hablo de moliendas, y es que corres en mis venas, y es que nadie ya reclama cuando tú la luna apagas. Y siempre me dijiste nada y todo con el bien hay mal, y con la noche están los días, ya no pienses más. Me lanzaste al mar, no dijiste más, y siempre me has contado que la vida es solo un pasar, que apostemos todo y después no lamentar. El presente ya, mañana quién sabrá. Que brotan, unas son de risa y fiesta y otras de las copas rotas. Y hoy estamos en la vida, mañana la despedida, y nos llega la partida. Seremos parte de la brisa. Estaba por los que están, los que se han ido y no volverán, por los que nos han amado en tiempos de guerra y llanto, a los que nos han enseñado dar y amar sin ningún lazo, los que nos han lastimado, buen camino, amor y cantos. Y siempre te he soñado entera al viento, sola como estás, y aunque a veces no me encuentro y no tengo nada, me lanzaste al mar, dijiste más. Y siempre me has contado que la vida es solo un palpitar, que apostemos todo y después no lamentar el presente ya, mañana quién sabrá. Siempre te he soñado entera al viento, sola como estás. Y aunque a veces no me encuentro y no tengo nada, el presente ya, mañana quién sabrá.
This is truly one of the most beautiful songs that I have encountered in the last, I don't know, several years.
Oh, thank you for saying that.
Oh, and the images. The thing that is so beautiful to me is, and I'm not going to be able to say this in Spanish, el presente ya, the present is it, like this moment, you know, that to me, how did that line come to, I mean, how did you get that? That's magic right there.
So basically with that, it's what I feel. I mean, it's what I've been practicing for the past years of my life, like for the past 4 years. It's like in what I believe is what I try to practice, is what I try to remember every single day of my life, because it's not always like that. I'm not always aware of that, you know. For life, you know, we get busy, we get distracted with so many things, and yeah, that's like life through the different things that I live, kind of taught me that, you know, always like man, remember this moment is all what you have. Remember, nothing is granted. Remember, like she's the most present gift that I have. She always reminds me of being present no matter what. Her name is Moon. But basically it's that. It's like life show me in different ways that this is all what we have. This moment is all what we have. Like there is no time to waste. There is no time to, you know, for me it's like there is no time for carry resentment with people or carry like any type of negativity inside of us, because life is short and day by day it's a proof. Like things can change in one second. Things can transform in 1 second. We can be gone the next day. Our loved ones can be gone the next day. Like, and that's it, you know. And one of the biggest things that I really, well, many reasons, but one of the biggest things is like that I experienced is like there was a point a few years ago that I always was thinking of the future. I always was like nothing but
what's going to happen.
What's going to happen, or like nothing but content with the present moment. And it's like, and there's something like wanting more, always wanting more, always wanting be somewhere else, always wanting, no, this is not enough. I think there is a bigger there is a bigger level of success that I want to experience. There is a bigger level of this that I want to experience.
Yeah.
And one day it hit me. I was like, this is sick, because in that moment I had everything. I had it all. Like I was working on in a perfect, like if I reflect, everything was fine. But my mind, and for like being unaware, kind of like I wasn't able to see what I had in that moment, like the blessings that I have in the moment. And I was very depressed. I was sad. I was not sad. I was unhappy. I
Yeah.
was very unhappy, unsatisfied. And like this feeling that I had, it was like, if I don't change this, I'm never gonna I never gonna expand myself, and nothing's gonna make me happy. Nothing. This is a very kind of toxic for me.
Yeah.
Was like
Sure.
kind of like, yeah. So then, I mean, that's a part of it, but through that and through what I say, is just like, there is like, this is it. This is all what we have, and if every day we can just remember that, or like put the intent, do the best we can to remember in that, and it changed your life, because you start to really, I guess, seeing the people that is with you day by day different, the things that you see different, the way you go through your day, you start to see everything different with that mindset. And,
Yeah.
and like I say, there is no time to waste, and nothing is granted. So that's where it comes from.
I mean, obviously, Siempre comes at the end of that realization. You had the realization, and then you eventually got to this place where the song came. But how did you try to stay in that moment? Like, what tools did you have, or what did you do to keep you centered and grounded and present, and not, I don't want to say worried, but you know how sometimes it becomes a worry when you think about the future, but to focus in this moment, instead of letting, and it happens to me all the time, letting my mind wander off into, well, what if this happens, and what if what brought you back to that presence?
I guess counting my blessings.
Mm.
Counting
Gratitude,
my
yeah.
blessings. Definitely the gratitude. And like I say, it's a everyday thing. It's a everyday thing, because I mean, at least for me, my mind can go so many places. And it was always always counting my blessings first thing. And having faith and trusting the process, trusting the process, trusting that we are in the right place, and trusting that everybody, we are doing our best with what we know.
Yeah.
And everybody is doing what they know, and accepting the feelings, accepting those also at the same time, embracing the feelings that the rise, instead of like pushing them. I think that's one of the biggest tools and practice that has helped me to understand of being in the moment. Like, that doesn't mean like we have to be always like, oh my god, like in super happy always, or doesn't mean that we have to be like this joy. We like accepting the way we feel, and being okay with it, and being vulnerable with it. And I think that's, when you're vulnerable, you're able to like, or at least for me, when I'm able to feel more, as I'm able to feel the moment. I'm able to feel everything more, and and I think like in society, vulnerability is like this, like a lot of people don't know how to be vulnerable. A lot of people is afraid to be vulnerable, and but I think it's one of the most beautiful things to do, because it's then we get sympathy, we can
Yeah.
relate,
Yeah.
and that's it, you know, like me accepting my feelings, me accepting, counting my blessings, understanding like we don't have to be always like that happy or like in certain way, is like what it helped me, is what it helped me to it helped me to understand of being present. It helped me to understand that this is what we have, and if I forget, I sit down and meditate,
Yeah. Come
and
back.
come back. Exactly. So that's exactly what I feel, you know. So
So of course, in the video, we see you with your family.
mhm.
So in this moment where in the video you and your family are interacting, and we can see the beautiful relationship that's there, and we know that those relationships are in the moment. They're very much in the moment, and they will end. I've lost both my parents. You know, at some point or another, life ends. So there's this beautiful love and compassion and sympathy and empathy. It's just like you can see that. And there's also this knowledge that that's the always. And even if we lose the physical people, the always is always there, right? That moment is always part of who we are. But what I hear you saying about vulnerability is that you have to accept the the eventual loss of that. Even though here we are, like today, here we are talking, eventually we will be gone. And in this beautiful moment, that knowledge is also there too. So are you saying when you accept that you accept all of that, you accept the love and the joy and the presence, and then you also accept the loss, the eventual loss and the sadness that goes with that, and all of it's part of that vulnerability?
Yeah, I mean that's part of it, and especially with, you know, like, you know, with death, you know, for example, um I mean, like death, like with death is like, oh, any feeling, but when you mention like, you know, your parents pass away, it's like like allow, well, that is is a transition, you know. This is what I feel,
Yes.
this is what I believe, and of course is, you know, still we're humans, and still we attach ourselves to, you know, like we attach to ourselves to people, we have connections with people with in this human form, um but the people that is no longer with us, they don't like, they're still with us, they just transform, they're still with us, their energy is still with us, we can call into them and connect with them, um anytime we want to, if we allowed ourselves to be in that space.
Yes.
And, you know, and of course the grief of not having that physical form anymore, and it's very rough. I mean, it's rough, we're humans, that's something that we feel, we get attached to things, we get attached to people, and all that is part of this experience. and and one of the most beautiful things that have helped me in life, again, is being vulnerable and allowing all these feelings and all these emotions to just to observe them, not to react to them, and you know, to be able to sit down with them and to say, you know what, I feel this way, this makes me very sad, grieving, I'm grieving this. Allow yourself to grieve, It's like allow yourself to feel anything you have to feel, and for like allow to be in those feelings, and that's like yeah, like that's that's part of being that's part of being vulnerable, and vulnerable I would say is being sincere, because it's
Yeah.
like yeah, you can, there's many people that you see them, they're tough and like, oh yeah, I used to be, I mean, I used to be like, for some reason in some part of my life I thought like being sad was something negative, or
Mm.
depression was something negative. Well, I know why, but like to like there is a part of my life where I told myself like I'm not. When I was a teenager, like when I was in my 60s to the 20s, I had a big like a lot of I was like going through depression all the time.
Yeah.
And after that period of time, I told myself, I'm never gonna feel this again. I'm tired. And then I kind of like shove it down. And so every time I was feeling sad, I was like, no, I don't have time for that anymore. And it backfired on me over the years. Like it backfired on me because I realized like, no, that's not okay. And so again, it's just like the question is how how we can be the most sincere and honest with ourselves.
Yeah.
and and I think everybody should ask this question, and whatever comes from the answer, just leave it and practice it, and yeah, and go through all life, through all the aspects of life, through that, with death, with any time, any type of any type of breaks into us or ego, or or any aspect of their mind.
I get that. I really get that because, like you, I fought against it for a while, like a long time, and then when I allowed it and allowed my vulnerability, I mean, it's just feelings. Ultimately, it's just feelings. They're scary sometimes and they're huge,
Yeah.
but they're just feelings and they're going to pass. And then other feelings are going to come along, right? And so I started to become more of an observer, and I think the message, like the between the lines in Siempre, is an invitation to
Hmm.
that place,
Yeah.
to feel this with me. It's like you're saying within the song,
Yeah.
come and feel this present moment, and this present moment, and this present moment, and and the images change, right? And the lyrics lead us in that way, and each moment has a different kind of feeling. Like I look at, there are so many images in the video, and each one of them takes me to a different place. Like sometimes it's a just the image. Like there's one image of a woman who's just looking out, and then there's an image of a woman who's doing something. And the difference between the stillness is one feeling, and the activity is another feeling. It's just like the feelings are just feel this, Bill. Feel this, Bill. Feel this, Bill. Right? And it's such a marvelous way to sort of stand on the outside but look in at your life with a kind of a promise that it's okay, you know? Somehow it's all okay.
Yeah.
And yet it's very deep. All these deep things, they're all okay. And that's very, that gives me a sense of peace. I think it's the same kind of peace that you feel when you're in that performance, taking that song internally and offering it out. That same peace comes to me. And who knows?
Wow.
Maybe we're only two people in the world who feel this way. I don't think so. But you know what? It doesn't matter if it speaks to one person, right? And we know it's speaking to many, many people. So, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I could go on about this. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's that piece is like that, like you say, like it's okay, like
Yeah.
that's it's just the way we look at things. That's what it changed,
Yeah.
and that's like this one of the lines. I mean, the song embarks a lot of topics, but one of the topics is like I'm saying in the song. The song is dedicated to all the people that is gone. This song is dedicated to all the people that is here. This song is dedicated to the people that gave us unconditional love, that taught us about unconditional love, people that love us in the moments in the hardest moments of our life. This song is dedicated to the people that hurt us.
Yeah.
And it's like basically like that, like saying, I'm good with everything. Whatever happens, okay, thank you for that. Thank you for the teachings. Thank you for the experiences to everybody else, to our teachers, our like anybody, everybody, everyone that crossed our life.
Yeah.
Thank you, because I learned from that, and everything is okay. Everything's gonna like everything pass. Like that's something that the good moments they're gonna pass. Bad moments, what we call bad and we call good, they're gonna pass. And and it's how we just find that sweet spot basically in the like, okay, this is like
Yeah.
this sweet balance, because you can it's not sustainable to be in like in a hype all the time, and it's also not sustainable to be in a very low and down. It's like going these places and like be okay, and like you say, finding like feeling and finding that peace, which as for you and like for what I heard from a lot of people, is taking them to that place too, and that yeah, that place.
And we need that place,
Oh, yeah,
right? I
we
mean,
need a place.
I've lived without that place. It's not great. I'm
Hmm.
trying to live more and more and more in that place of presence, that place of always.
Yeah, always.
It's
That's
hard.
what. Well, that's like that's what when people ask me, what do you want the most in life, and I was like, I want peace. I want be. I don't. I want to become peace and balance more than before. I used to say I want to be happy, of course, but
Right.
like more like the first thing that I always ask, like, just give me peace, just help me to be in peace, and I'm good with that. Like that's it's a practice because, well, there's so many things, but it's a practice, daily practice, daily.
I get that. I really do.
Mm.
I think music is such a wonderful practice for bringing us that place. You mentioned meditation. There's whatever it is that you can do to come to that place, whatever lights you up and gets you to that moment of presence. People, we got to do that. I mean, look at our world. It doesn't have much presence in it in this way, and it's Santiago. It's thanks to you that we have this invitation to come to that place. Your music offers that, and you're doing your job. I mean, you're fulfilling your purpose here, and your passion of music has led to this moment of invitation to the
Yeah.
rest of us to come to this place.
Thank you. I mean, I don't have words. Thank you so much for saying that, and it means a lot. And I always, I mean, like I understand. Like I just want to be open for what it wants to come. It's not about me. It's not about Santiago. It's more like how can I be the best space for creativity to go through, and at the end of the day, it's like the main reason I do music is to touch people and to make them feel, I don't know, if if anything that I create can help them on their path, and which and something that I always will do is to write and create from a very sincere and honest place, then I'm grateful for that. I'm happy, like I can I could I can facilitate something like that in this life.
It doesn't seem fair in a way to ask you what's next, but do you have a vision for what's next?
Well, like what is next right now? I'm still there is so much there's so many releases coming up. There's a song that is coming up. We're gonna release a song probably in a month called Changes, um, which is a completely different journey than Siempre. Um, it's more. I mean, it also was it was recorded and produced and in the quarantine last
Mhm.
year. But it's like completely different. It's like more, upbeat, but also anyway, people will hear it. Everybody will see it. It's called Changes, and that release is coming up, and it goes in the same waves of like, hey, and the same kind of frame of changes of life.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and there is a and then yeah, we have releases for, I think, every month. For every month we're gonna have new music. I would love to perform live again. I would love to.
Yes.
That for me, that would be a beautiful next. There is nothing planned yet, but uh, that would be incredible. So that's what I'm, like putting it out there to make that happen again, to be able to perform live, to travel with that. And but as for now, in the moment, creating all this new music
Yeah. Yeah.
for everyone. Yeah.
Well, of course, if you're listening or watching, we'll have all the links in the show notes, and you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. WITHN has a YouTube channel. You can hear the latest releases and see them there. And then, of course, links to be able to reach you and to interact with the band and to be able to become a follower it's marvelous these days. And even with the pandemic, so much creation has been happening, and obviously we're going to hear Changes is going to come soon. So look for that, watching and listening. They'll be in the show description on YouTube, on the AHO radio channel. And oh my gosh, I think you've said it better than anyone else could have said it, because it really is this gratitude that's coming through. And I want to thank you, Santiago, for your gifts and giving this to the world, but also for putting the effort behind it. It takes resources to produce a music video at this quality, and to have done this work for now years, probably most of your life, to bring us the music that you're giving to us today. Just thank you for that.
Uh,
The world needs you. We need this voice that says, yes, it's okay. It's okay to feel bad and to feel great at the same time, and to embody that in a song. I'm just listening. I don't know what to say anymore either. It's one of those beautiful things where the music just takes it away and says it all. So the band is WITHN. The song is Siempre. Of course, there'll be links. Take a moment, listen, watch, correspond, go deep. Let the music, whatever music it is, affect you deeply and take you to that vulnerable place that Santiago's talking about. This is such an opportunity to bring the man behind the music to the world in a way that I just honor and really thank you for, Santiago. Thank you for being this open and honest with us this morning. It's really a beautiful thing.
No, thank you, Bill. Like, man, like, thank you for who you are too. Like, for seeing that, you know, and for what you're saying. It means it really means a lot. It's very touching. Um, your platform is beautiful. And and just to let people know, as soon as you send me that message, an email, and told me about what you're doing in your platform, I was like, this is so beautiful. This is perfect. Like, people need to know. People needs to know about this, and this type of information should be shared with everybody. And yeah, it's just like sharing, and you're allowed in that. So, and you're seeing it and you're supporting it. So thank you. I think it's beautiful that you're doing that. And I don't know, I feel very grateful that I'm able to be part of this with you, and that speaks a lot about who you are too. So I'm sure you're doing, like you say, you're doing the work, because it takes someone to create a platform like this.
Oh, thank you. I'm humbled to be a part of the effort, you know, to move it all forward. And John and I in Authentic Human Outliers Radio are all about this. I mean, you never know where the next outlier is going to come from. Lots of people out there making music, you know.
Yeah.
But there are not many people out there who are making the music that Santiago Orozco is making with WITHN. A lot of widths in there. And we need that kind of music. Well, we need music that speaks to people wherever they are, to allow them to be vulnerable. And WITHN certainly does that. You know, for me, I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of your catalog, right? And starting to engage and listen to me. And now that I know, and if you have that experience, if you're listening to this or watching, if you have that experience where you make some sort of a connection that you kind of get, you know what that feels like, right? And all of a sudden, you have to listen to everything that band has ever done, or everything that singer-songwriter has ever written, you know, and it just do that, allow that to happen, because we can, right? Mm-hmm. So I hope that that our time today sparks interest in other people who wouldn't normally have like encountered Siempre in a way that allows them to just sort of become consumers of this wisdom. It's wisdom, Santiago. It's wisdom you're sharing with us, right? And it comes from that beautiful experience. And I know we're running out of time, and also let me just say once again, bottom of my heart, John joins me in gratitude, appreciation for all you're doing. Oh my gosh. Again, the band is WITHN. We're here today with Santiago Orozco, who is founder, leader of this project the way it is right now, and just a beautiful human being. I am so grateful to be here and to be as a facilitator to help this project move forward. Thank you. Thank you to Music Care and Green Zone Hero. Thank you all for listening and subscribing. We love you. See you soon.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of AHO Radio. Information we mentioned is probably in the show notes, but if we missed anything, please let us know and we'll get it added for you. Subscribe to the AHO Radio channel on YouTube to stay connected, and as always, we wish you health, success, and significance. AHO!